What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Wal-Mart exclusive Marvel Legends Thanos. And this figure is basically a re-release of the Build-A-Figure from a couple years ago. I personally was never really excited about that Build-A-Figure. I didn't really like the colors, it didn't have an Infinity Gauntlet, and I just wasn't into it, so I never put it all together. So I was really happy when they announced this one. I'm more of a fan of these colors. I know that this is not quite the classic look for Thanos, but it reminds me more of the classic look than the Build-A-Figure did. So I'm really happy to have this. And the Build-A-Figure was basically based on his look from the Infinity comics, and this figure is based on his look a little bit after that, when I think it was around the time of Civil War II, and when they had like the Ultimates that were kind of mixed in with the regular Marvel Universe or whatever. I'm not really sure what's going on with Marvel these days. I'm a little out of the loop as far as the Marvel comics are concerned, but I believe that this figure was based on his look from around that time. And about the figure, as I said before, this is a Walmart exclusive, and personally I wasn't able to find it. I looked at Walmarts locally in my area, never came across it, but a friend of mine on Facebook by the name of Carlos Espino hooked me up with this figure. He said that he was a fan of my channel, and he sent it to me for free basically. So huge shout out to him for doing that, and I really appreciate it, man, and I hope you enjoyed the review. But let's get right into it. So he sent me the figure loose. I don't have the packaging, but it does come in the standard Marvel Legends packaging, so I'm sure that everybody out there is familiar with it. But let's get right into the figure, starting with his articulation. So as far as the articulation goes, I do have a couple issues, but for the most part he has pretty good articulation. So let's start off with the head here. It's able to go side to side. It doesn't really have too much tilt to it, but it does come up to about there, and then you could bring it all the way down, which is really helpful because this piece is loose and you could kind of use his head to pin it down. And he's bigger than most other figures, so he's going to be looking down anyways, so that's pretty cool. And then for the torso articulation, that's where my issue is, because it's just hanging out loose like that. It does have like the click deal, so once it clicks back like this, you know, it stays like that, but that's as far back as it goes. You can't really get it to go any more than that. And then forward, once you click forward, it hangs out kind of loose. You know, I try to like get it to stay like this, but it won't. It wants to just kind of go back to its natural position. So I'm not crazy about the torso articulation, but I don't hate it. I know a lot of people were kind of upset by the way that worked, but I mean, it is what it is. It's not a huge deal. He is able to crunch forward a little bit and go back, so you know, you can't be too mad. And then for his waist, he has a waist swivel, but the belt does kind of hinder it. His arms are on ball jointed shoulders, so they can go all the way around. And this piece isn't attached to him, so it does get out of the way, and it's soft plastic anyways. But as I said, his arms could go all the way around. They could come out to the side. He has upper bicep swivel, single jointed elbows. He has a swivel at the wrist, and then a hinge at the wrist. And then for his legs, you can't really get them to go to the side. It's about as far as they'll go, so it's not very much. The joint here is pretty big, and the belt is kind of in the way, so you're not going to get too much movement out of the leg going sideways. But it does kick forward pretty much all the way. Then it kicks back to about there. And then he has the upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, a swivel at the lower leg. And then his feet can come up like that, go all the way down, and then he has the rocking ankles. So like I said before, he does have pretty good articulation. There are just a few things that don't work too good, and basically it's just the torso that doesn't work that great, but it's not horrible, so I'm pretty happy with the articulation on him. And he does come with a couple accessories, including 2 right hands, and this is the first one. It's just the regular, you know, gloved kind of armored looking hand. And the other hand, of course, is the Infinity Gauntlet. And when you change out the hands, I really like what they did here, because they made it so this piece actually comes off too. So when you pull off the hands, it's a little tight, but you pull them off, and then this comes off. And then you have the, you know, the part of the glove that goes with the regular hand. And it's cool because then when you put on the Infinity Gauntlet, I originally thought it was just going to be like this. And, you know, the Infinity Gauntlet would go along with this part of the glove. And that would have been kind of weak now that I think about it. So I think it's really cool that they made these parts interchangeable too, so that, you know, the gauntlet is an actual, you know, the whole thing's a glove, and his other armored piece matches his opposite arm. So I'm very happy that they did that. I think that was very cool, and they could have went the lazy way and just made it so the hand is interchangeable, but you know, they went the extra mile and included the glove sleeve, so I'm happy about that. And he comes with two different heads, and this one here is just like a regular kind of mean looking face, and this one is an original head sculpt. And then the alternate head that he comes with is the same head that we saw on the Build-A-Figure, but with the new paint job. And now for some size comparisons. Here he is next to the Marvel Legends Captain America from the Red Onslaught Build-A-Figure wave, and a Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man. And as you can see, he towers over both of these figures, so I think that Thanos fits in really nice with other Marvel Legends figures. And now here we have the Marvel Legends Incredible Iron Man and the Marvel Legends Comic-Con exclusive Unworthy Thor. And I kind of forgot how big this Thor was. He almost makes Thanos look not so massive. And here he is alongside the Figure Arts Black Panther and the Mafex Spider-Man. And then now here we have the Marvel Legends Kang figure and the Marvel Legends Doctor Doom figure from Toy Biz. And here we have the Marvel Legends Thanos along with the Marvel Select Thanos. And even though I really like this new Marvel Legends one, it doesn't top my Marvel Select Thanos as my favorite Thanos figure. It does have some advantages over it, like multiple heads, ab articulation, and just better articulation in general, but the Select one is the more classic look. It came with Lady Death. It has an interchangeable Infinity Gauntlet just like the Legends one does, but you know, just overall, I like this one better. I like the size. You could kind of put them with your Marvel Legends or your Marvel Select figures. So this one's really awesome. I love this figure. If you don't have it, I definitely suggest picking it up. And just because the new one isn't as good as the old one doesn't mean that this new one's not awesome too. But just for me personally, I like the Marvel Select one better. And then Lady Death does fit in pretty nicely with the Marvel Legends Thanos, so I'm very happy about that. She is a little tall, especially if she's been hanging out with the Marvel Select one all this time. You know, she looks tiny next to him, and next to the Marvel Legends one, not so much. But she does still look pretty cool, so that is very awesome. I doubt that Marvel Legends will ever give us a Lady Death figure, so I'm happy that she could fit in with both of them. And as for the look of the figure in general, I think they did a really good job. For the blue parts, they went with that metallic kind of effect, and sometimes that doesn't really work, especially with a lot of the Iron Man figures, but I think that it looks really good here on Thanos. I think they're kind of getting better and better with that, so I do like the way that looks on him. And then on the shoulders and arms here, you have some silver lining kind of work, and that looks good too. It kind of breaks up the blue there. And then the belt here has some sculpted details. Kind of looks a little plain. It looks a little plastic looking, but not horrible. But it is cool that there's some sculpted details in there. And all the armor pieces sculpted too here. It's not just like a flat body. But if you have the Build-A-Figure, then you know that already. But all this looks pretty good. The arm looks good. The little wrist guard here isn't flat. There's some kind of details on there. And like I mentioned before, this collar piece does come off and just float around. You could take, if you want to take it off, you could pop his head off and take it off. But there are pegs in there that you could stick into his body. And then, you know, they hold pretty nice, but they do still kind of pop off, but it does hold it in place, so that's very good. And then let's see what else we got going on here. On the legs, you got a lot of nice sculpted details and paint work, again with the blue metallic effect, and then you have some like metallic work in there that looks really good. The boots look really nice too. They have like a cool gold effect. They don't really look too plastic looking, so I am happy about that. And the gauntlet looks pretty nice too. I do like the fact that there's some creases sculpted here and it's not just like flat. But I wish the stones here looked a little cooler. I don't know how they could look cooler, just like shinier or something, but they definitely look just like painted plastic. But it still looks pretty decent. The sculpted work is pretty good here. There's a little bit of paint flaws on mine. I got some paint on the inside of the palm there, but it's not a big deal. Overall, I think the Infinity Gauntlet looks pretty cool. And then in the back here, you got some like sculpted details, like a sculpted spine kind of effect, and then, you know, all this is like kind of armor looking, so it's good. All the sculpting and the general look of this guy looks really awesome, and I love the colors. I love this metallic blue mixed with the gold. Like I said, I know it's not necessarily the classic look, but it still really reminds me of that, so. And as for the two head sculpts, they did a really nice job. This one is my favorite out of the two. I love the facial expression and the purple color. It's dark. It's kind of coming off a little bit lighter than it actually looks on camera here, but in person it's definitely darker, and it looks really cool. I love the way the purple looks, and I love the sculpt of this face. They did a really nice job on it. I know it's little, but I love the fact that you could see like the mask, it's not just a painted line. That's really cool. And then, you know, the back of it has that silver effect. But yeah, I love this face sculpt a lot. It's really, really cool. I'm gonna pretty much display him with this face sculpt, and then it's purple with like a black wash in there. So yeah, they did a really good job. And then his eyes are like bluish color with some black outlining. And then for the other head sculpt, you have like a maniacal laugh going on. And this looks good. I think this is the same head sculpt that came with the Build-A-Figure, and I think it looks a lot better here because of the color. I think the dark purple looks really nice, and then all the paint details look really nice. I didn't really like on the Build-A-Figure how light the skin tone was for Thanos, but I think right here is perfect. I love the deep dark purple on this thing. And even though I do like this head sculpt, as I mentioned before, I like the other one a lot better, but both of them are really cool. And it's very cool that they included both of them because both of the faces work really well for Thanos. So overall, I really like this figure. I think they did a really nice job on him. I don't think that he's perfect. He is a little bit wobbly, especially in the torso area. He doesn't feel like very solid. And his legs, I guess, can feel like a little soft. Not, I don't want to say gummy like some Marvel Legends figures, but they're just a little soft, and sometimes it's a little hard to get him to stand up. But with a little bit of patience, he stands up just fine, and it's really not a big deal. And aside from that, a couple other little gripes that I had was when I first got him, one of his arms was really tight, and I had to drop like a little drop of this gun oil that my brother had, and it worked out really good, and his arm moves freely now, but at first it was just really tight. I couldn't even get it to move. And then on the other side, the opposite arm was really loose. I couldn't get it to stay in, so I had to do some things to get it to stay in there. And now the one arm moves freely and the other arm stays in there just fine. And now I love the figure, so I am very happy with it. I do like the fact that they gave people another opportunity to pick up a comic book accurate Thanos figure, especially around the time that the movie's coming out. I think that's really smart of them, and hopefully people are able to find it. It's a Walmart exclusive. For the most part, Walmart exclusives are pretty easy to find. The Black Panther figures that were Walmart exclusive were, you know, pretty much peg warmers for the most part. This one, like I said, I still haven't seen it in Walmart myself, but I'm pretty confident that, you know, I'll stumble across it. But now I'm happy that I don't have to, thanks to Carlos. Thanks again, man. I do really appreciate it. And yeah, this is a really cool figure. I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy that Marvel Legends finally came out with a Thanos figure, and it's not a Build-A-Figure. It's cool that you could just go buy this for under $20 and you don't have to build the Build-A-Figure, because I know some of those pieces got pretty expensive, especially the one that came with Captain America. I can't remember if it was his arm or what, but I just know the Captain America figure got really expensive, so it became hard for people to build the Thanos figure. So it's cool that they got another chance to get at least a similar figure to that Build-A-Figure. And that's it for the review. And it's a really awesome time to be a Marvel fan and a Thanos fan and a Marvel Cosmic fan, because Avengers Infinity War comes out in a few weeks. I think it's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. Hopefully I'm not setting my standards too high and I become disappointed, but it does look really cool, and I just can't wait. The previews have almost had me in tears. I bet I'm going to be crying in the theater when they kill everybody, but we'll see. Hopefully that doesn't happen. And just for some fun, what are some predictions you guys have for Infinity War? For people that are into it, just for people that are sensitive to spoilers, you might want to turn it off at this point. But for those of you that aren't, I think a lot of people are pretty certain that Vision is going to die, but I think that Marvel's aware of that, and I kind of don't think that it's going to happen. I don't think that it's going to happen. I think they're going to find a way to make Vision survive without the Mind Stone. But I do feel that someone important is going to die trying to defend him. So that's my little prediction. Do me a favor and leave some of your predictions in the comments below. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And thank you very much. Peace.
That's crispy.